welcome to another BlueCat Feature of the Month. My name is Rick Beebe, and I'm a member of the Professional Services team here at BlueCat Networks. The role of the Professional Services team is primarily helping our customers get BlueCat services deployed in their environment. Nearly everyone who buys our product will be replacing a different product. So a large part of our job is getting the data out of your old stuff and into your new BlueCat stuff. In other words, data migration. You may have worked with us when you first deployed BlueCat in your organization. We also get called in to do additional migrations later on. Perhaps the initial installation didn't include the entire company, or the company buys another company and they want to migrate their data into their BlueCat system. Or there's the divestiture, and the new organization wants to extract their data from the parent company and install it into their local one. In this video, we'll talk a little bit about a normal professional services engagement from start to end, so you know what to expect. On most projects, you'll be working with two personnel, a consultant and a BlueCat project manager. We work as a team to make sure that the project stays on task, in scope, and on time. The project will start with a pre-kickoff call where we'll introduce ourselves and have a quick overview of the project. I'll probably ask you for a copy of your data so that I can do an initial analysis that we call a burn through. We'll all agree on the architecture and scope of the project. The burn through can often reveal unusual data or configuration issues that we'll need to address at kickoff. The project itself starts with the kickoff call. I'll present the findings of the burn through. The project manager will set up a regular cadence of status and technical calls, and we'll try to finalize the timeline for the project. If there are new BlueCat servers in play, you're expected to get those online and connected to the network. I can help validate the configuration and make sure that everything is communicating later. The initial phase of the project is called the data transformation phase. I'll use a variety of proprietary tools, custom scripts, and even manually editing of files to transform your data into a format suitable for importing into the BlueCat Address Manager, or BAM. This is an iterative process, fixing issues and perhaps cleaning up obsolete data until it imports cleanly and accurately. Migrating data into an existing BAM takes extra effort to avoid data collisions, but we're well versed in that too. For the actual migration, I'll write a migration plan, including any prerequisites, the steps needed during the call, and rollback and contingency plans. I will be on a call with you through the entire migration event. Let's take a look at a typical migration guide created by Professional Services for a DNS migration. While each guide is customized for the specific migration, they all contain similar sections. The purpose of the document or general overview. A change history will be added if the customer requires it or if there are a lot of revisions. This migration is moving DNS to a new set of BlueCat servers as the company, PCO, spins off a former division now to be called TestCo. I like to include the architecture and information about the servers involved. In addition to validating that we're using the correct servers, it serves as a useful reference list during the migration event. Next is an overview of all of the steps required to successfully complete this migration. A list of the zones to be migrated. Now we get into the detailed descriptions of the migration steps. Often tasks need to be completed before the migration event. We'll get a fresh set of data to transform, and the customer should implement a change freeze so that changes don't get lost during the switchover. For DHCP migrations, we'll usually ask that the lease times be shortened to 1 hour to make clients switch over faster. The guide will include the exact commands to run and the expected results. If the results don't match what's in the guide, we can pause to figure out why before moving ahead. The go, no-go decision point is clearly called out. A comprehensive test plan is the responsibility of the customer and isn't usually included in the guide, but we may have some basic tests to ensure functionality. Our guide will include a comprehensive rollback section in case some unforeseen event forces us to back out the change. And finally, if there are activities that need to be taken at a later date, those will be included as well. In this case, the PCO organization will remove the TestCo zones from their BAM when they're comfortable that the migration was successful. In a DHCP migration, we may have a task to restore the lease times to their proper values a few days later. I can also assist you with configuring other BlueCat products as part of a new installation, things like Edge, Cloud Discovery and Visibility, Hybrid DNS Updater, and Global Service Selector. All the services provided will be laid out in a detailed statement of work agreed upon by both parties before the start of the project. At the end of the project, I'll write a summary report that explains what we did, what we fixed, and if there are any outstanding issues or steps that you need to handle later on. Finally, we'll have a closeout meeting where we'll go over the summary report and, well, close out the project. What doesn't professional services do? We don't handle system upgrades, we don't offer support outside of the migration project itself, and we don't handle installation of new servers outside of the migration project. For those, we have our excellent care and enterprise support teams. So that's a quick summary of the professional services. I hope you've enjoyed this month's Feature of the Month. Thank you for watching.